Welcome to episode 2 of Almost Heaven, Always Us.
I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Corey. And if you hear a buzzing in the background, that's the 3D printer going.
Constantly going.
Constantly, every day since Christmas. We've been
almost all day.
All day since Christmas, and we've got a dragon coming now.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. We'll insert a clip of the dragon. It's pretty cool, but you're making something constantly.
Oh, yeah. Well, as promised, here's the video of our dragon. Probably my favorite thing we've printed so far.
He's
got
so
the scales,
cute.
and he's got his little legs, and he's bendy and slinky and
what was he
else.
called? Like a leaf
dragon? Like a leaf dragon. He's got like a leaf shape on his tail so he can blend in with the trees.
He's so cute. Let's see his little feet. And like his little detail on his face. It's so cute.
Yep.
I think it's cute. You think he's cool.
I've got a little friend here with me today.
That little baby.
Is supposed to be Mothman, but he may look more like a little black owl. And because most of the stuff I've been printing, I've got off the internet where other people have built it. But this one is the first one where I did it myself on Tinkercad.
Looks really good.
And I had gave him antennas, but they were too thin, and so they cracked off as soon as I printed him.
And he's a little bald.
So he's bald on top. Yeah, he got his top shaved off. But otherwise, I was pretty happy.
I know, it does.
I gave him a base
really good
to stand on because I was afraid he would fall over when he started to print, and everything but the antenna. And then I just gave him some little red eyes with some fingernail polish. So.
I still love him.
Little Mothman, our first little Mothman. We'll get better, but this is a prototype.
I love him. Yeah, sit him up there. Draft. So he'll watch over us. Because isn't some people say that he was like protecting or something? Or is that something?
It was more of a bad omen.
Yeah, it's definitely bad, but he's definitely not for protection. But some people have said that, like a warning.
Maybe back then, but people of West Virginia have really adopted Mothman, and a lot of people really like Mothman. So he's good vibes now. He's all good vibes. Yeah. So he's a protector now.
Yeah, I like him. Have I seen him once?
Have you?
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to talk about that in a cryptid video.
Later on. We'll keep teasing it. Like every episode we'll be like,
it's coming.
It's coming.
And it's going to be good.
So about a couple miles down from our house, they just built, what is it? The BFS. Yeah.
BFS with a Dairy Queen.
With a Dairy Queen
attached.
They've been building it for what, 3 or 4 months?
Yeah.
And they wanted to have it done by the
I guess first, by then, yeah.
And it was open, what, December, like New Year's
Yeah, it
Eve,
was.
I think.
And it's just the gas station side and the inside of BFS. But Dairy Queen is not done. Like, they have the framework of it, but nothing's been done on the inside as of what, today is January 2nd.
Yeah.
So, but...
They moved pretty quick, I thought, like, from the ground up. And then got gas. I can't believe it's open.
I know.
I can't believe that we have a little gas station this close to our house.
I know.
And we're going to be able to stop and get Dairy Queen whenever we want to. That might be bad.
Probably.
Might be bad.
It would be really bad for your health.
But convenient.
Yes.
Right?
It will. Like if you just need a little thing of milk for when it's getting ready to storm.
Yeah.
And you need milk bread.
And we're going to talk about that because there's a storm coming.
But yeah, I remember, the lot sat there vacant for a long time.
It used to be 2 houses.
Yeah, 2 cute houses, like cottagey houses, and there would be like geese there that lived there.
That's right. And there was like a little like creek kind of that ran between the 2 houses. Yeah. That's basically right under where the building sits right now. And they came in, demolished the houses, put some pipe in the ground, covered the creek. Doesn't even exist anymore, and then put a building right there. Pretty amazing. We'd heard rumors about it for years.
Yeah.
Like years, and we're like, nothing's ever gonna happen. It's just vacant land.
I wonder if they paid those people to leave because they left at the same time and then immediately swiped their houses.
Yeah, and that must have been when the rumor started, but there was truth obviously to it. But I can't even believe it.
Yeah.
It's a BFS. That's it's not a gas station I usually would hit a lot.
No, me either.
That got me thinking, though, what is West Virginia's gas station? That could open a can of worms. There's a lot of probably opinions on West Virginia gas. I think Little General Store, right? That's the one that's like always partnering with WVU. So just be like West Virginia
I've never been to one.
And I think there's like over 100 locations, something like that.
I've never been to one. The ones that are here are inconveniently located for me.
Yeah.
It's like, do I want to go? Like, it's like right off of a busy street, and it's small, and I'm just like, no hate on it, but my gas station is 100% Sheetz.
Yeah.
100%.
I agree. Little General, I was looking it up just because I don't know a whole lot about it. The first thing that came up on their advertisement on their website was Mothman and Flatwoods Monster. So I thought that was kind of cool. Makes me want to go a little bit and try it out.
Maybe we will. Maybe we will, and we'll.
And I also saw on there that most of their locations in West Virginia have some kind of like a Subway or Burger King or something with them too. So it's kind of similar to the BFS.
All right.
Yeah. Now Sheetz, I don't know of any Sheetz that has like another store attached to it, like a Burger King or something. But they have the MTO, and I think the MTO is pretty good.
You really like it. There's not much that I got from it. Like, I really like the melts that was like the pretzel bread and turkey and cheese. I got that all the time in high school, and then they did away with it. That was my thing. That was my thing to get there. But I like the coffees.
Yeah, coffee's good.
I like the MTO coffees.
Check this out. You can go and take your own cup in there and get a refill. It's cheaper than buying the Sheetz cup. Like if you take a Stanley in there, you can fill that thing up with hot chocolate or coffee. And I forget how much it costs, but it's cheaper than like a regular small cup there. And
I forgot about that.
I filled up my Stanley and bring it home and pour it out for the kids, cheaper.
When you found out about that, you can
do the same thing with the slushies.
Obsessed. Yeah.
Of course, they don't call them the slushies. That's a 7-Eleven thing. But
yeah. What are they called?
I don't know.
I don't even know. There's something.
Icy. You know what I'm talking about.
You know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But MTOs, that's great. And, Morgantown, we get a lot of people that aren't from here that come from out west or wherever. And then I tell them, like, hey, that's one of my favorite places to eat. Like, what are you talking about? Like eating in a gas station? Like, man, you got to go to Sheetz MTO. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
They got really good hot dogs and good subs. A lot of good stuff. Mozzarella sticks.
In my opinion,
might not be good for you.
It's not. But whenever I see a Sheetz and I'm not like in West Virginia and I'm going somewhere else on the East Coast, I'm like, if there's a Sheetz, I feel like I'm at home. Exactly. Like I've said this before.
Yep.
I'm just like, I feel safe. I feel comforted if I see a Sheetz. That's where I'm getting gas. That's where I'm going to the bathroom.
We're going to go to Sheetz.
Yeah.
When I was working in Baltimore a good bit, I was driving back and forth between Morgantown and Baltimore. I think I hit pretty much every Sheetz that was like along the path there between Morgantown and Baltimore. And if I ever had to go anywhere else, I was sad.
I know.
I wanted that Sheetz.
Like if I had to go to the bathroom so bad and BF's was a mile away, but you said if you wait another 15 minutes, there's a Sheetz, I'm going to wait an extra 15 minutes to go to Sheetz. That's a no-brainer. Sheetz. I would never go to a BFS gas station.
Yeah. What about Circle K? Where do you rank them up in there? Uh-oh. They got the Go Ape.
We haven't even been there in a long time. What if they don't?
When we lived in Petersburg, I used to like 7-Eleven before. Well, I guess Sheetz was there. Sheetz
I never went to 7-Eleven.
I hate to say it, but you know what I liked at 7-Eleven?
Ice cream?
No. They had the slushies.
Wait, well, that's not 7-Eleven. That's
7-Eleven is known.
BP.
BP has good ice cream. 7-Eleven is the home of the slushie. So they're the OGs.
The Big Gulp.
No, what I'm talking about, the Big Gulp. Yeah, the Big Gulp. But what I'm talking about is the hot dogs. They used to have a meal where you get a Big Gulp and a hot dog. That hot dog was setting out like all day.
Yeah, I know.
And then you pulled out a bun from like underneath.
Yeah.
And then you could put that old hot dog on it. And there's like a chili dispenser you press it and you can get like as much chili as you wanted.
You love that.
It was pretty amazing. I know it was really bad for you, but it was so good.
I know you liked it.
And you get a Big Gulp and a bag of Doritos. It was like a combo, like $2.
And when we were dating, you would get that, and I would just be like, man, I guess
you still married me.
This is who I'm choosing to be with.
Yeah. Right. But so the winter Sheetz, right?
Yeah.
Sheetz is Sheetz West Virginia's gas station?
I don't know. Someone tell us.
I think it's up there. It's got to be a contender.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yep.
But like growing up in Sheer, we called it the little store. I don't even know. It's my best friend's grandfather's. He owned that store. I don't even know the official name. We just called it the little store. It was just like a couple miles from our house. That's where we would get gas and little snacks. And they used to have like the cashier person would Like behind her would be rentals for like Sega games.
That's cool.
We would rent Sega games. We rented an Aladdin one, a Simpsons one, even though we were not allowed to watch The Simpsons, but we were allowed to rent the Sega game. Movies. So we didn't need to go into town for gas or the movie store.
Some of those little mom and pop convenience stores that you see in West Virginia are pretty neat. Yeah. There was one that I go to at the place I was at today out in Cameron, West Virginia. Kind of in the Cameron, West Virginia area. There's Miss D's Hoagies.
Miss D's or Miss D's?
Miss D. Is a dog. Yeah. And she's got some good subs there. Miss D's subs.
Was she working there? Was it a woman? That you think the name would be Miss D?
I didn't go there today. Some of my coworkers did, and they said there was a fella there working.
A fella?
So it might have been Mr. D. I don't know. But it's pretty good. You never know what you're going to get out there. And there's no gas stations out there. There's like no Sheets or something, nothing that you would, there's no franchises at all. It's all mom and pop stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they call it Dragon Country. Everything's Dragon there.
Dragon Country.
Dragon, that's like their mascot for their high school.
Oh.
They got Dragon Highway is the road. I think one of the Dragon Market is like their grocery store. They had banners up through their town, right? That says like dragons, like on these banners, all on every post, and it says their high school.
They're very prideful.
And then
small towns usually are.
Then the elementary school had their own banners.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I was out there, when I guess there was some kind of playoffs or something going on, maybe like a couple months ago, they had these banners up that said "You're in Dragon Country."
Oh.
Like everything was dragon themed, like dragon this, dragon that. I was like, these people really love their high school here. That's pretty cool.
How small is it compared to Franklin?
It's small. It's
smaller than that?
It reminded me of Franklin. It's small.
And they have all those.
You know, Franklin has a Subway.
Yeah,
and Cameron does not have any franchise.
Yeah.
I looked it up on the map because I was like, what am I going to eat?
That's true.
But hey, Miss D's is actually better than Subway, in my opinion. So.
What is that gas station in Franklin? Would it be a No.
Oh, man,
what is that?
Was like jeans or something? Was it like?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
But yeah, their thing is cool. Like the bowling alley.
But yeah.
Like that's where if the bowling alley is not open, you're probably not going to eat.
Franklin.
Yeah. They those mozzarella sticks.
They're the best.
Those milkshake bowling alley milkshakes. Is that just a thing?
We spent a lot of time in the bowling alley in Franklin.
Because there was nothing else to do.
I meant that as a compliment.
It is no.
It's a cool place.
It is a cool bowling alley, and it still does the roller skating.
Yeah.
And it has an arcade, so it is really cool. But it has to be cool because it's the only thing to do.
Yeah, unless you love nature. Yeah. Middle County has Seneca Rocks.
Okay. I'm just thinking of the tiny
Spruce
town.
Knob.
They have the Treasure Mountain Festival, which is a humongous deal.
You're being unfair here.
I'm not.
You are. You're being unfair.
No hate to Franklin.
Okay, good. All right. So you mentioned earlier there's a big storm coming.
Yes.
A big storm. I saw a couple things that I wanted to share that I thought were pretty neat. One of them was, we always joke every time there's a big storm. What do we always say?
You better get your milk and your bread.
You always hear that, right? Milk and bread. So somebody made a funny about it today. It was Hampshire County 911 weather advisory. The Great Bread and Milk Countdown is a Facebook post by Hampshire County's 911 service. They put the Great Bread and Milk Countdown.
Oh my god!
It says, "Here we snow again."
Oh my god!
Several weather outlets are forecasting the fluffy stuff Sunday into Monday, and the burning question remains: how many loaves of bread do I need, and how early should I buy them?
Yeah.
Fear not, friends. We've got you covered with our official snow scoring system. Bread level, 1 loaf. Milk level, half a gallon. With 3 whole days to prepare, we propose a coordinated snow shopping strategy. If we all pace ourselves, starting today, for the next 3 days, everyone should be able to enjoy the full contact sport that is pre-snow grocery shopping.
Oh my god!
On a serious note, make sure you've got what you need to stay safe, and if you must venture out, prepare for slippery roads. Get your hot chocolate ready and the sleds prepared. Our 911 operators are here 24/7, ready to assist you. Unless you're calling to report bread shortages, that's on you. Don't worry, we'll keep you updated as snow time nears. Stay safe, Hampshire County. And remember, teamwork makes dream work.
Oh my gosh. Whoever wrote that.
Hampshire County 911 deserves a raise.
That is hilarious.
That was good.
Oh my gosh, because like the milk bread, you're going to make a milk bread sandwich. Is that what you're doing with your milk and your bread? It's
The
not
milk
like,
bread.
oh, let's go get like a pack of turkey. Let's go get some popcorn for when we're bored and we want to watch a movie. It's nothing like that. No snacks. It's milk and bread.
Yeah. And then they sell out. So that's why you have to stagger it.
I guess. See, I even went out to Aldi today.
And did you get milk and bread?
I got a half a gallon of skim milk.
There you go. Do we have a loaf of bread?
We have maybe half.
Okay, we got 3 days to get it.
I'll get a half tomorrow. I mean,
maybe
another
3
half
days.
gallon.
Actually, I don't know because I don't pay attention to the weather. That's just what that post said. But here's what Jim Justice says. This just came out. West Virginia under a state of preparedness.
Oh.
Not a state of emergency. The opposite. State of preparedness for winter storms. That's a good thing.
Okay.
With winter weather on the way, West Virginia Governor Jim Justice has issued a state of preparedness for all 55 counties. According to the governor's office, the state of preparedness allows West Virginia Emergency Management Division to get their personnel and resources ready to respond quickly to any emergencies that develop during the storms. They have coordinated with other agencies who are on standby to report to the State Emergency Operations Center if need be.
Okay.
Justice urges West Virginians to remain attentive to the weather conditions and follow any instructions emergency officials issue during the storms. So apparently there's going to be some storms coming in here is what I mean.
So he's saying right now, get prepared.
Yeah. Well, he's saying West Virginia is prepared as a state, like the state level, state agencies are prepared.
Oh, that's
what he's saying. The state of preparedness. They're ready to roll.
I thought he was telling us all to get prepared. And
well, he is too. He's saying pay attention and so between that and the Hampshire County 911, if you're not ready, it's on you.
It's your fault. You've been warned.
They said there could be some school delays and cancellations. Our kids don't go back till Monday anyway, so
they better go back.
Won't. They've been here for like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, they have had off for 2 weeks.
It's time to go back.
They should have gone back this past Monday. Here we are Thursday, still fooling around on school Christmas break.
So watch it get extended from snow. That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be hilarious.
Yeah. And I heard it's supposed to be really cold too into next week. It's supposed to get down in the single digits, I believe, in the lows. And then the highs are like 20s. So it's going to be chilly. Yeah. See, you're prepared. You've got a West Virginia blanket and a hot beverage.
And I will always have a blanket on down here because it's cold down here a little bit. And I am always low on iron, like almost severely low. So I'm constantly cold. So I'm always going to have a blanket.
That's good stuff.
Just need.
All right, what else we got? This is
coffee with the oat milk gingerbread creamer in it. And I hardly ever see it at Walmart. If I see it, I got to get a bunch at a time because they're not always going to have it.
On a serious note, today is January 2nd. That is the 19th anniversary of the Sago Mine Disaster in Upshur County that happened in 2006 on January 2nd. An initial methane blast at 6:30 a.m. killed one worker. 12 men sought refuge from carbon monoxide fumes, but 11 men were dead by the time rescuers reached them 41 hours later. That's really you remember sad. That at all? You'd have been 15.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I vaguely remember I was 16. So we were teenagers.
That's really sad.
It was a while ago, 19 years ago. But I vaguely remember it because it was 41 hours, the rescue attempts, and they were able to rescue one man. Only one survivor.
Gosh, could you imagine?
One survivor, Randall McCloy Jr.
Wow.
He lost 11 of his coworkers who probably watched him pass.
I'm sure.
And 41 hours breathing carbon monoxide. And
oh my gosh.
Here's the saddest part of the story. This is really, really sad and really serious. So the rescuers that went underground to rescue him, they were like messaging back to the surface. Well, somehow the information got misheard, something. I'm not sure exactly how, but really cruel twist of fate was that they announced that they survived first, and then it was 3 hours. So they're happy.
For 3 hours?
Yeah, 3 hours, and they probably felt like a relief. Like, oh,
yeah,
I'm glad that they get the good news.
Yeah.
And then 3 hours later, you find out actually no.
Yeah. That's when I would be like, I don't believe you now.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that he's alive, but now you're lying.
Yeah. It reminds me of another sad story where that happened where the wife didn't believe it. And she's basically like, I want to see my husband. I heard that story in a safety training. I do an annual safety training. And so I hear a lot of stories. And but they created a lot of regulations based off of those kind of incidents to increase safety. And that's where like the annual safety training I do is because of these disasters kind of sparked that. So fatalities and just safety things in general, they've decreased, incidents have decreased because safety is more of a priority, because back then it was pretty crazy. In fact, there was another incident, I think 3 weeks later, in Logan County, 3 weeks after the Sago disaster, 2 miners were killed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's what really spurred a flurry of new laws and tougher regulations. Sago Mine was reopened for a few months after the fatal explosion.
Oh my gosh, I would never.
But then it was later sealed. Can you imagine being the next shift after it reopens and you go back down there?
Oh my gosh, wow. That's terrifying.
Yeah, I just can't imagine how the survivor must feel today. So, especially on a day like today, an anniversary date of it when it happens. But he had to sit there and watch his friends pass one at a time over 41 hours.
Yeah.
And I've done some work for surface for mines, for some mining companies. I've never been underground, but I've done surface work. But from what I can gather, from what I can tell, it's usually a really tight brotherhood. Like when you go underground with those guys, those are your brothers. So I'm sure that was a really tight-knit group. And he was the only survivor out of that group.
So much trauma.
And then they say that survivors always have like that survivor guilt. So I don't know. I don't know anything about him, but I hope he's doing really well.
I really hope. I pray.
Yeah. I mean, how would you feel? Like, since you stay at home and you see me go to work some days, like, walk me through what must have been going through their minds.
Oh my gosh. It's just like such a gut punch. Like, this isn't real. Like it would just be like, I would have to see it to believe it. Like, that's just, I can't imagine you not coming home to me. Like, I don't know how I could go on living.
Well, the camera died, so here we are, starting back up after a 45-minute break.
Probably we had a snack and watched Survivor for a little bit.
In the meantime, this little dragon finished printing.
It's really cute. It's so cool.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
I don't know how it does that. Look at him. Like a little baby. I love him.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'm beside Mothman.
Today I got tricked by a cat. Yeah.
I don't know this story yet.
Yeah, I was driving and I swore that I saw a bear in a tree. I saw this bear moving in a tree, and I said, oh my gosh, I got to go back and get a video of this bear. So I pulled over and I turned around and go back. It's a cat, a black cat in a tree. I'm talking
tree.
Like in the backwoods, up in a tree.
That's really sad.
Looking like a bear. He was acting like a bear, but he was a cat. So I was really disappointed.
That's a shame.
And he looked at me too, like he knew. Like he looked at me and then jumped off the tree. And walked around like, look, I'm just a cat.
Yeah. You freaking idiot driving back here to get.
So that was disappointing.
Yeah.
Anyway, our last topic of the night that I want to talk about, some of the recent coaching hires in West Virginia, in the state of West Virginia. Now, this is a little bit old news. This is about a month old, but
I don't know anything about
I think this is interesting, especially for us, because we lived in Morgantown, moved to Huntington, back to Morgantown. So I think this is a cool story for us. So it started with Marshall in Huntington. They hired Tony Gibson to be head coach.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, that's his first head coaching job. He might have done like a high school or something, but at college level, his first coaching job. Tony Gibson, of course, was defensive coordinator at WVU.
Yeah.
Under Rich Rod and Dana Holgerson. And then he went to NC State and got hired on. Really happy for him. He's a really great guy.
He is.
And I hope that they do really well. We met him one time at a fan day when we had our baby with us, and he talked to us, talked to our baby, and he was just a really down-to-earth guy.
It was really cute. Was that 9 years ago?
Yeah, something like 9 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And so the man from Van, West Virginia, way down south.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Van is down south.
Shows my knowledge.
Van is down south.
Shows my knowledge.
And he's a West Virginia native. Yep. And speaking of West Virginia natives that got hired, of course, WVU hired Rich Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
He is back after, 15, 16 years, whatever it's been. And a little bit controversial hire. Yeah. But here's where the story, I think, gets interesting. Let me pull up my phone here first for the notes. But so it started out with Gibby, as we like to call him. Coach Gibson, Gibby.
We know him.
Yep. I mean, that's what everybody calls him, Gibby. Yeah. That's his nickname. Mm-hmm. He started out making some comments about the Friends of Coal Bowl. The Friends of Coal Bowl is West Virginia and Marshall. And he said this: I've had the honor to work for a lot of great head football coaches, one of them that just got hired at the school up north. So I think it's time for the Friends of Coal Bowl again. First of all, the school up north. Come on, Gibby. You've coached here multiple times now.
You can't say it.
Now you can't say WVU anymore. You got to say the school up north. Mm-hmm. So they asked Rich Rodriguez what he thought about that. And so he said this. He says this in front of a fired up crowd of Mountaineer fans in the WVU Coliseum. He says, Gibby is a great friend of mine, was a great staff member, and we're still very dear friends. But if you think I've spent 1 second thinking about Marshall, you're wrong. I could care less what's going on in Huntington.
That's so savage.
That's savage. That's savage. But
oh my gosh, that's so mean, though.
That's pretty funny.
It's funny, but it's mean.
Yep. And so what I think is interesting about that, we have a kind of an interesting perspective. Gosh. I don't know a whole lot of people that went from Morgantown to Huntington to Morgantown. I only know us, but let's get into that a little bit. That rivalry there, what we experienced firsthand. Yeah. And then I think these comments make more sense, put them in more perspective. So when we went down to Huntington, I had just graduated WVU. Yeah. And that was pretty much all of my clothes were West Virginia clothes. That's all I owned when I graduated.
Yeah, for real.
So I go down to Huntington. I'm wearing West Virginia gear nonstop. I never really spent a whole lot of time thinking about Marshall growing up or in Morgantown. Nobody really talked about Marshall in Morgantown. And I think the general attitude was, hey, they're from West Virginia, so we hope they do well. Yeah. Most people thought that. Yeah. So I just thought, that's Marshall. Little school, hope they do well. They're from West Virginia. Didn't think anything of it. If I saw somebody in Marshall gear, never thought anything of it. Don't think anybody would. I go down to Huntington wearing West Virginia gear, though. It's a whole other story. People coming up to me all the time. I was getting comments constantly. Hey, this is herd country.
Yeah, like aggressive.
You know where you're at?
Like I remember the first time we went down there. Were we at Pizza Hut?
Yeah, I remember.
And as soon as we walked in, someone said that. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, they're aggressive down here. Very prideful, very...
Yeah.
What is the word? Like, resentful.
I don't know if resentful, but something. And
something.
But what's funny, though, is it's pretty much one-sided. So we moved back to Morgantown, and I was telling my new coworkers and stuff a little bit about that. None of them ever heard of that. They're like, oh, really? Like, I didn't know they felt that way. Like, I always just thought that they're from West Virginia. I hope they do well. And I was like, yeah, they don't really feel that way about you.
They're haters.
It's kind of a one-sided rivalry.
Yeah,
really.
It is.
People in Morgantown. So when Rich Rod said, hey, we're not really thinking about Huntington, I mean, that's pretty much the truth. But it's not the case down there. They want that Friends of Coal Bowl to return. What Gibby said, I think that was what he had to say. He's matching the vibe down there.
Yeah, he has to.
That he's matching the fans. And he says that school up north.
Yeah.
And a lot of them want to return to that game. So I think he did it. And then what Rich Rod said to West Virginia fans, he matched the vibe for West Virginia fans. That's really what WVU fans feel like.
That's what they have to do as coaches,
Both did what they had to do, said what they had to say. They're still buddies. They're still friends. I hope both of them do well. I still love Tony Gibson, and I hope he does really well at Marshall, and I hope Marshall finds lots of success.
Yeah.
The friend of Coal Bowl, I can see Marshall's point for wanting to have it. It's really a lot of upside for them. If you win, you took down Big Brother.
Yeah.
It's a huge win. If you lose, it's okay. You were kind of expected to lose, The West Virginia's WVU's perspective on it, though. It's kind of all downside. You lose to Marshall, and you lost to Little Brother. You win, you were supposed to. You know what I mean? So there's not a whole lot of upside for WVU. It's more beneficial to Marshall, honestly. And so I think a lot of WVU fans really don't want the game.
Yeah.
Some people have said, hey, you could trade out, those no name that come in that once a year that you pay to beat them at home.
Yeah, like
with that, and that'd be more exciting. Yeah, than a cupcake. But at least with those games, you have some fans coming in from out of state, bringing some money in. When you play Marshall, is just all West Virginia.
Yeah.
You're not really generating any money or buzz or anything. I don't really see the point in doing it. I'm not a huge fan of the Friends of Cold Bowl.
Yeah.
I think it stays in the past. It's fine with me, but hope they both do well.
Yeah.
Yep. Like those guys. But I was thinking about Bill Stewart earlier. I forget how we got on the topic of him, but he was one of my favorite coaches. So he took over after Rich Rod, right? And was here for a while. I think 3 seasons, I want to say. And then Dana Holgerson started his era. But
yeah,
that was a whole story. We won't get into all that.
Controversial
story about the Dana from Bill Stewart. But it was a situation that was really set up, a difficult situation set up for really both of them. It was kind of like he was supposed to continue to be head coach, and Dana's kind of be like the coach in waiting.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're going to fire you. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever heard of it anywhere else. It's like, we're going to fire you, but not till like next year. So keep coaching, and here's your replacement. And you kind of show him the ropes.
Yeah.
And, and Dana's like, wants to come in and be a head coach. So anyway, I'm not going to talk bad about Bill Stewart. I'm never going to talk bad about Bill Stewart. I love Bill Stewart. So I'm not going to go into depth in that story. Paints him a little bit of a negative light. He did a couple things there, but all I remember is the positive. I met him one time on campus, actually, when I was a student. I was, it was about Thanksgiving period, and he was just walking around.
Where was that? Where were you walking? Do you remember?
I was on engineering campus.
Okay.
And he was just walking, like, I guess for exercise probably. But he came over and just started talking to me, just out of the blue.
That's really nice.
And just was asking me like my Thanksgiving plans, like, are you going home to see family and things like that. He's a really nice guy. I was like, what an awesome dude. And when I walked away, I'm like, man, I love that guy. Like, he didn't have to do that, and he did that. That's for right here. He did that all the time. Like that's who he was. He was just always talking to people. And
Dana wasn't walking around talking to you.
Dana was not known to be a social butterfly.
No.
But Bill Stewart, he passed away when we moved to Huntington too. So we moved to Huntington, and that's when he passed, a heart attack. But great guy. They still play his speech all the time at the games.
No, I love that.
That will get anybody fired up.
It's very emotional.
Right?
It's really good.
That will fire anybody up.
It does.
Yep. His son is actually on the staff. He was on the staff under Neil Brown. And he's one of the few that Rich Rod's keeping.
I didn't even know.
Yep. They kept him on staff.
Wow.
Yeah. Blaine Stewart.
Blaine.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Because, I don't really know him or heard much about him, but just knowing his dad, probably a pretty cool guy too.
I'm sure. So, I hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Bill Stewart, rest in peace.
Yeah.
One of the best. Yeah. And that's really about it.
Yeah.
For today, I think we covered everything we want to cover.
Yeah, you don't have nothing else in your notes?
I think that was it for my notes.
Okay.
I think at least I kind of had notes ready, and then with that big break, that 45-minute break or whatever, I lost track. So.
No, that was very unfortunate.
But
something for interacting with our listeners, viewers, is leave the gas station that you prefer in the comments.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
We want to hear the gas station.
So we say Sheetz, but is that West Virginia's gas station?
Yeah. And your favorite WVU coach?
Oh, yeah.
Or Marshall coach. Your Marshall
that could start fights.
That's okay.
I'm just kidding.
We want to start interviewing people. I think we have somebody.
I think so.
Kind of ready that we've talked to?
Yes. Tonight I asked him, and he is totally down for it. So I'm excited. Probably the most excited person that I think that we would interview.
Oh, wow.
Probably.
For number one.
For number one.
Wow.
I couldn't think of anybody else to do.
That's awesome.
for the first interview.
Yeah.
As far as
we're gonna give a little tease or anything, or any clues, or just
clues?
let them be surprised.
I don't know. I want to say
let them be surprised.
Let them be surprised. Oh, I was just gonna say, like, this is the most someone who has shaped where I am today, like, greatly. You know, just for me, like,
yeah,
he is definitely a big part of my life, my walk with the Lord, and my faith. So,
yeah,
I'm very
that's awesome.
honored.
I'm excited
To be able. So I don't know how we're gonna do it because we film downstairs in our downstairs basement while our kids are asleep.
Yeah.
So
it'll be something we'll learn.
Yeah, we probably won't be here. I'm sure that we'll be somewhere else filming, but
yep,
it'll be good. I'm excited for that one.
Yep, that'll be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's about it.
Yep.
Guys, if you love West Virginia as much as we do, then how about sharing this podcast with your friends and family?
Like it
and subscribe and share it, and we'll keep doing it if you like it.
Yep. We have Spotify, Facebook, Instagram. Working on YouTube.
We're gonna have YouTube soon. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it. We'll see you next time.
Bye.